This is a video to go over the notes that are going to go in your ISN on page 90 and 91. So this is about circles. If you were in class today, we actually measured the outside edge of a circle, this distance around the edge of the circle, and it was called the circumference. And then what we measured was we measured the entire way across the center of the circle, like this yellow line, and we measured that was the diameter. When we divided or found the ratio of circumference to diameter, we discovered we could get pretty close to this number pi, which refers to circumferences and areas of circles. So what we're going to do is take some notes about the circumference and diameter and pi in our ISNs. You need to get out ISN page 90. So when I'm looking at this formula, the circumference divided by the diameter is equal to pi, I can rearrange it. C is going to represent circumference. It's divided by the diameter, the distance across the circle, and it equals this number that was pretty close to 3.14. When I am dividing by a number, to get rid of it on a one-step equation, I have to multiply both sides by whatever's on the denominator. So I get this formula that circumference is pi times the diameter. I can find the circumference, the perimeter around any circle, by multiplying 3.14 times the diameter. There was one other term that we talked about in class, and that was this line right here, which is half the diameter or the radius of the circle. So if the diameter of a circle was 10 centimeters, the radius is half that. It was going to be 5 centimeters. Sometimes you might be given the radius of a circle. So to find that circumference, we're going to change the formula a little bit. Get out your notes, and I want you to take these down. The circumference of a circle is the distance around the circle. The formula, we just figured it out, is pi times diameter. If you don't have the diameter and you're given the radius of a circle, like in this expression right here, where you can see the radius is equal to 9, the diameter is 2 times the radius, twice the radius, or the diameter in this circle would be 18. That means we can make this formula to the circumference could be 2 times pi times the radius. We just have to double the radius. So these two formulas can be used to find the circumference of a circle, to find. We will either use, we might just write the pi in there, but usually we will use the number 3.14 to represent pi, or we could use this fraction 22 divided by 7 as an approximation for pi. That's a 7. Okay, so that's what circumference is. Make these notes. If you are not getting them down during the video, they will be in class notebook. Make sure you have them before you come to class. On ISN 91, the foldable that you have for circles, we're going to write some other terms down. So we know that the outside edge is the circumference, and when it crosses the middle or the center of the circle, all the way across from one end to the other, it's called the diameter. If it hits the center of the circle and goes to the outside edge, only halfway, that is called the radius. If it is a line segment that hits 2 points on the circle, it has a different name. It is called the chord and does not go through the center. So a line segment that hits 2 points but does not go through the center is called the chord. And this line that only hits one outside edge is called a tangent line. So I will want to see that your circle is labeled with these names. And these, we will fill out these words for this. The center of the circle is the point equidistant, think equal, from all points on the edge of the circle. The radius is the line segment with one point at the center of the circle and the other point at the end point on the circle. The diameter is a line segment that passes through the center and has endpoints on the circle. So that there's the endpoints. It passes through the center. A tangent is a line that meets the circle at exactly one point. And finally, a chord is a line segment whose endpoints both lie on the circle, but it does not go through the center. The circumference, this is just for your notes, is the distance around the circle. It's like the perimeter of the circle. If we were measuring this, it would be, in centimeters or inches, miles. It is one dimension. It is this distance around the edge of the circle. We measured this with a string in class. The formula to find this is going to be the circumference is pi, that 3.14, times the diameter, or if you have the radius of the circle, you can find circumference using 2 pi times the radius. These are all multiplied when we see no sign in between and they're just sitting beside. In class, we're going to work through these examples tomorrow, but make sure you have these final notes. And the last page is going to be the area. The area is this, the inside of the circle. It is the space occupied by the circle. It's two dimensionals. It's that space inside. So it could be measured by centimeters squared, square feet, inches squared. There's two things that we're actually multiplying. So make sure you have this formula because the formula of the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. We're going to talk more about squaring, but you might remember that if there is an exponent of 2, it means you've multiplied radius times the radius by itself. So these notes need to be done in your ISN. When you close out this video, you will see them. If you didn't get them, make sure they're there for tomorrow. I will be checking.